Hi, everybody. My name is Rita Crompton. I'm also known as the Inventor Lady. And thanks so much for the gentleman who reached out and said, oh my God, your videos are brilliant. So I appreciate everybody listening. Tonight, what we're going to talk about is the options you have as an inventor. All right. And the more you know before you start down this path, the better off you're going to be. And I know people are so excited. You've got a problem, you find a fix for it, and the next thing you know, a spouse, a friend, a family member is saying, oh my God, you should get a patent on that. And you think, okay, let's do that. Not necessarily the best business plan. I always used to joke that the inventor's business plan was have idea, file patent, make money. And it just does not work that way. So you've listened to a lot of the videos as far as the steps you take, but let's go back just a little bit and look at your aha moment and the options you have. All right, 3 options. 1, you can sell your intellectual property. You don't have any yet. You've got an idea. All right, but it's important to know that you could do that. It's tough. All right. The next one is you get forced into startup mode. That's expensive. And the last one is licensing. And that's not easy either, but now, there are advantages and disadvantages to everything. And you as the inventor have got to be able to make business decisions, not emotional decisions. Everybody thinks that they're going to be drinking little umbrella drinks in Tahiti. And I had the guy say, well, if we sell it for $1 million, you're not going to sell your intellectual property for $1 million, right? Especially if you haven't sold any product yet, right? There is no business yet. There's no book of business. There's no proof of concept. There's nothing but maybe some words on a piece of paper that the patent office says belong to you as intellectual property. Pretty much all you've got now are liabilities. You've got no profit. Licensees and buyers know this. All right. They're not dummies. They know this. They've been doing this for a long time. You as the inventor need to learn this. Okay. So when you go out the door with the idea that you're going to sell your intellectual property, you will make pennies on the dollar. That's normal. All right. You spend $10,000 on a patent. Somebody says, okay, I'll give you, $1,000 for it. And again, all you've got is money out of your pocket. You've got no proof of concept. You haven't sold any. There's no book of business. So you have to keep in mind, what would you do? All right. If you were that buyer, what would you do? And most of the time that helps to set the boat straight again. It's hard. Now, if you've gone into startup mode and you've created now a book of business and you've got sales and you've got proof of concept, now you're not selling the intellectual property as much as you're selling the business. So those are 2 different elements. All right. Important to keep that in mind. All right. So now let's move into startup mode. You get forced into startup mode by almost every agency out there. You write a business plan. You're looking at manufacturing and somebody's going to do the engineering for you, and money, money, money. Money makes the world go round. Not really. It's inventors chasing it that makes the world go round. All right. And I'd sing that for you if I could, but I can't sing. So it's important to keep in mind advantages and disadvantages. If you've got a good chunk of cash, and I mean a good chunk of cash, $250,000, you don't want to waste it. And I see a lot of inventors jump on that. It's like, oh, I've got money. And they go down the road and they're just throwing money at everything. You've got to treat every single dime like it's your last dime. Right? And that's one of the taglines we use at the Inventors Roundtable. Don't spend a dime till it's time. All right? You've got to hold on to those dollars like it's your very last one, because you are going to get to something that's going to cost more than you expected. I guarantee it. Right? I'll get people, they go down the road and they'll say, well, I spent $50,000 on my patent. Then you use the wrong patent attorney. I don't know what else to tell you. Find somebody else. The hourly rate is the big swing. And just because they're charging you $600 an hour doesn't mean that they're doing a better job. It just means they've got a bigger office and they're charging you more because you're paying it, obviously. There are better options, and it's not doing it yourself. You have to use a registered patent attorney, but the swing is anywhere from $250 an hour to over $600 an hour. Well, duh, pick the one that's on the $200 side. If you don't know one, call me. I'll give you one. let me back up a little bit and slow down. I get passionate about this. I get cranky when I see people taking advantage of inventors. All right. I've heard of attorneys assessing what they're going to charge the inventor based on what they think you have. Well, that's a foul. Maybe their hourly rate stays the same, but the number of hours they charge you goes up. Foul. That's bad. So be careful, right? Licensing. All right. So with licensing, you still have to do some of the teeing up. Nobody licenses an idea. An idea is like a belly button. Everybody's got one. Doesn't matter how cute yours is, I cannot sell it or license it. So when we're looking at licensing, the patent filing, it's all based on the patent. How good is your intellectual property? It's that simple. A licensing deal is directly related to how good the patent is, what the product is, and what they can sell it for in the marketplace. It's pretty straightforward. A good licensing deal means somebody else is going to make it, sell it, and send you a check. I've got my good friend George in the Northeast. He goes, I've licensed a product and I've been a startup. And he goes, I get my little royalty check every month and I go to the bank and I'm so happy. And then I've got to go back to the startup world because the startup world has nearly killed me. When you're looking at these things, understand what is your skill set. And for the average independent inventor, your skill set is not setting up a business. It's not doing manufacturing and it's not doing marketing and selling. You have to keep your day job to pay for this project. And each one of those, the running the business, doing the manufacturing and doing all the marketing, are full-time jobs. You've heard other videos of mine explaining that process to you. So licensing, again, somebody else is going to make it, sell it, and send you a check. That said, you can still do some of the fun stuff. We always put in the contract. You get final say on any design changes. And there's a reason for that, not just because you're the one who created it. And a lot of times you'll have the best insight to the product. It's because we want to make sure that you're controlling the intellectual property. The other thing is you can still go to some of the trade shows. Some inventors love going to trade shows and walking around and talking about their product and showing their product. That's great. All right. Sometimes the licensee will actually bring you on board as a salesman. We had a gentleman up in northern Colorado, and he gets a royalty on everything that is sold by the company, including the ones he sells, but he also gets a commission. All right. That's great. Another lady, she licensed her product to a company. It's in all the Home Depots. They have been sending her a royalty check for over 12 years. She's happy. She gets to keep her day job, which she rather enjoys. She's made a nice income from the royalties on the licensing agreement. Life can be good. Gatorade is a licensing deal. All right. Florida Gators play football. They don't sell Gatorade, but the school licensed it. Yay, that's a good one. All right. So licensing deals, the licensee does the heavy lifting for you. Manufacturing, they're going to order, 20,000, 50,000 compared to you're ordering 2,000 or 5,000. Brings the price down, gives them the ability to do better pricing at the store. Price comes down at the retail level. You sell more. Everybody's happy. All right. They also pay if someone infringes on your patent. For most independent inventors, that's a deal breaker. I've got one of my good friends is an inventor, helped get several patents through the pipeline for him. And he said he's known that there are 3 companies basically infringing on one of his patents. What can he do? What can he do about it? Well, he's got a couple of options on that, but it means he's doing the heavy lifting. So again, look at your skill set, Mr. Inventor, Miss Inventor. See what it is that you can do. Look at your budget. Be serious about your budget. You don't want to start throwing money at something unless you have a pretty good idea of where you're going to end up. And for most inventors, ending up as a startup, hundreds of thousands of dollars into this, and then have to deal with all the marketing, can just be a load that's too heavy. And then fight an infringement suit. At that point, your spouse is really cranky at you. So understand options, sell it, pennies on the dollar. And for some inventors, life gets in the way. I know that. You've put $10,000, $20,000 into some intellectual property. Life gets in the way. You had to stop. looking for someone that might be willing to buy it, not necessarily a bad idea. You won't get all of your money out of it, but you'll get some back. It's an option. All right. Being the startup mode, you've got to have a big bank account with a lot of leftover cash in it that you can throw with this. Licensing, it has its own challenges. There's no doubt about it. It is not easy. All right. But it may be a better option. So Rita at inventorlady.com. Go and read the website. Pull down the Inventor's Galaxy Guide. It's free. All right. All you have to do is take the time to read it. You can see kind of the basic introduction from the icon at the top, but on the side, on the right-hand side under resources, you can download the whole thing. It's simple. A 25, 30-minute read, about 15 pages, shows you the pendulum swing on costs between licensing and startup mode. Really helps you then make a decision on where you are where you want to be, where you can be. Sometimes where you want to be is not necessarily where you are. The reality check then is, where are you and what can you do with your aha moment? All right. Rita at inventorlady.com is my email. Shoot me an email. Got to reconnect with somebody I met years ago that was talking about doing some ideas, getting ready now to get a search done. So there are options out there. There are good mentoring options. All right. And Rita at inventorlady.com. That's your first step. Thanks so much. And I will talk to you again tomorrow.